Okay.
Recording in progress.
The February 25th, 2026 meeting of the Greenville County Planning Commission is hereby called to order. At today's meeting, we will review rezoning applications, subdivision applications, and other items brought to us by staff. Unless the commission members have a question for the applicant, we will not accept additional public comment on the rezoning applications. The rezoning cases were presented at a public hearing, and that was the opportunity to hear public comments in favor of or in opposition to the rezoning cases. At today's meeting, the commission will be making its recommendation on the rezoning cases. Detailed information on each of the cases was provided to us in our electronic agenda package in advance of this meeting. Our recommendations will be forwarded to County Council's Planning and Development Committee for their consideration and decision. The subdivision matters we will review today were previously reviewed by the Subdivision Advisory Committee. At that meeting, the reviewing agencies presented their preliminary findings to staff. Based on comments from the Subdivision Advisory Committee, along with a review of applicable sections of the ordinance, staff has prepared recommended conditions of approval for each preliminary plat. These recommendations will be provided to the Planning Commission as part of its review of each request. Anyone wishing to address the Commission on subdivision matters should have signed up to speak. Again, you cannot address the Commission during this meeting on rezoning request. The official public hearing on these cases has already been held. I'd like to welcome everybody, and Mr. Parham is going to take care of our invocation for us.
Bow your heads, please. Heavenly Father, maker of heaven and earth, I ask that you give us wisdom and discernment as we go about the business of serving the citizens and taxpayers of Greenville County. Protect us all and keep us safe on our travels home. I ask this in Jesus' name. Amen.
All right, thank you, sir. The minutes from our January meeting, anybody have any changes, revisions?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion for approval as submitted.
All righty, Mr. Holland.
I'll second.
Mr. Holland made a motion. Ms. Manning has the second. All in favor to approve our minutes from last month, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. All right, Mr. Baxley.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good afternoon. The following is a brief explanation of the Planning Commission process to consider rezoning cases. Each docket will be presented, including the requested zoning, specific details of the site, as well as maps and photos of the site and surrounding area. Presentation will conclude with the staff recommendation. Staff recommendation is a result of feedback from a team of internal and external county stakeholders who review each case. After each presentation, the Planning Commission may either vote with or against staff's recommendation, in addition to offering any additional amendments to the recommendation. All items forwarded from today's meeting will be heard by the Planning and Development Committee in person in the committee room in the North Building, which is scheduled for March 2nd at 5 p.m. The first docket is CZ-2026-006. The property is located at 231 Mural Road in Greenville. The applicant is Dimitri Bruhl for 27 North Georgia LLC. The 0.56 acre subject property consists of two parcels and is located approximately 0.54 miles southwest of the intersection of Old Piedmont Highway and Grove Road, Highway 20, and currently contains vacant land. This is the zoning of the surrounding area. Subject property outlined here is zoned R12, Single Family Residential District. The request is for RMA, Multifamily Residential District. You can also see the surrounding property zones. The applicant states that the proposed land use is residential duplexes. This is the subject site and photos showing the area surrounding the subject site. Staff is of the opinion that successful rezoning to RMA, Multifamily Residential District, will be consistent with the planned Greenville County Comprehensive Plan future land use designation of transitional corridor and would be consistent with similar zoning in the area. Based on these reasons, staff recommends approval of the requested rezoning to RMA Multifamily Residential District. Mr. Chairman.
Thanks, sir. Commissioners, any questions for staff? I got one. I thought they could do a duplex anyway.
So under the R12 zoning district, they could only do a duplex as part of an open space residential development.
Oh, okay. I thought we'd seen this before. All righty. Any other questions,
Mr. Chairman.
comments? Mr. Matasiewicz?
The chart in our packet says that they could, and I assume this is theoretical, put as many as 11 units on this property.
Correct. So under the RMA district, the maximum density for multifamily would be 20 units per acre. So if they could feasibly fit some sort of multifamily development or building onto that lot, they could have up to 11. If they are doing single-family construction, which a duplex under our codes would be considered single-family, it's a minimum lot size of, I believe, 7,500 square feet.
Thank you.
All righty. Nowhere else, nothing else would allow him to do duplexes besides this?
So he could potentially try rezoning to R6 through R10. Those would be single-family districts that would allow for a duplex outside of an open space development. Of course, then he would get potentially under R6, say, a smaller lot size, but that could be another option.
Okay. But you think this was the better way, even though it seems to be a little bit not consistent with the area?
Well, this is what he requested. The density of the comp plan under transitional corridor calls for future land use of 12 to 30, which the RMA would fit within. And there's RMA across the street and some in the general area.
And there's no other R6 through R20 in the immediate surrounding area.
Yeah. All righty. Commissioners, any other questions, comments?
I have one for staff.
Mr. Holland?
One of the comments made during the zoning hearing was from one of the folks that spoke, was talking, they were concerned about the infrastructure being able to handle this. Do we have any comment about that?
So the input from Greenville Water is that water was available, but that annexation covenant would be required. And then Metro's comments were that sewer access was available. For a development of this size, they wouldn't be required any sort of traffic impact study.
Right. It was also commented that the road was in poor condition. And there were 34 signatures for folks that were against that. That was in our packet. So that's all I had.
All right. Ms. Manning?
I think my primary concern is the fact we're going from zoning of two units up to a possibility of zoning of 11 units. I don't want to be opening up the door to the possibility of 11 units. And there's got to be a better way to handle this. The gentleman wants to do duplexes, but we're allowing him to do 11 units. What am I missing here?
So he could potentially do that. Like I said, from the criteria that staff primarily should be basing our recommendations on, it should be the comprehensive plan that's been approved by Planning Commission. But as commissioners, you certainly have the ability to take more items to considerations than staff can.
Well, I mean, we're opening up the door to 11 units on a how we would get 11 units on 0.56 acres is a little odd to me, but I'm a little concerned about opening up the door here. There's got to be a better way of handling this.
I would say realistically, even if he were to try to do some sort of multifamily, I doubt he would get the 11. The setback requirements, if he develops single-family duplexes, the setback requirements for that would be less than if he were to do the multifamily. Multifamily developments would have larger setbacks and would have certain buffer requirements. So that's going to eat up some of the property.
Yeah.
There would also be additional parking and stormwater requirements depending on the amount of impervious and the amount of units he has, which is also going to limit potential development. I don't know, given the size of the property, that it would be worth the cost and time of doing that sort of development. That's speculation on my part, but there would be, he would be very, I don't believe he would actually be able to get up to 11 once you actually do the site engineering.
Could he do something that would be, for example, 48 feet high, maybe 6 units, 48 feet high, 5 foot off a property line? Could he do something like that?
No, so the, if he does duplexes, he has a 5-foot side and rear setback. If he does multifamily, it's a 25-foot side and rear setback. And then there's also a height limit of, I believe, 45 feet in that zoning.
Well, in that zoning, you've got single families mostly, so 45 feet would certainly tower over the top of these single families.
45 would also apply to single-family development in that district as well.
I have another question. Do we know when the the RMA zoning across the street was changed from
I'm afraid
R12?
not.
I mean, I guess, is it recent or was it 20 years ago that we don't have any idea?
I'm not sure. Unless somebody wants to.
I can do a look real quick.
B 236 Middle Road.
Right. Split, see.
Mr. Chairman, if I may. I understand staff's reasoning, but as Ms. Manning also stated, I mean, the difference in the number of lots just based on this zoning that could allow, I think there might be other options to rezone to, or maybe a review district possibility, which, you know, I know everybody frowns on that like an FRD, but those things have to be done anyway at the end of the day. So it concerns me that this density changes so much. And RMA is across the street. So maybe, you know, we've seen this. One side stays less dense than the other for some reason. I would like to make a motion that we recommend denial.
A second.
All righty, Ms. Phillips made a motion to deny. Mr. Parham has the second. Any further discussion? All in favor to deny, say aye. Aye. Those opposed, say no.
No.
Mr. Hammond has the no. All right, next one.
The next docket is CZ-2026-007. The property is located on West Georgia Road and Rio Grande Place in Simpsonville. The applicants are Nick Myers, Michael Kane, and Jason Simpson of Toll Brothers for Sarah Ann Toney. The 25.18 acre subject property consists of a portion of one parcel and is approximately 0.5 miles northeast of the intersection of West Georgia Road and Rocky Creek Road. It really contains vacant land. This is the zoning of the surrounding area. Subject property outlined here is zoned RS, Residential Suburban District. The request is for R15, Single Family Residential District. You can also see the surrounding property zones. The applicant states that the proposed land use is a single-family residential development. This is the subject site and photo showing the area surrounding the subject site. Staff is of the opinion that successful rezoning to R15, Single-Family Residential District, would be consistent with the Plain Greenville County Comprehensive Plan future land use designation of suburban neighborhood, which suggests a density of 3 to 5 dwelling units per acre, would not have an adverse impact on surrounding area. Based on these reasons, staff recommends approval of the requested rezoning to R15, Single-Family Residential District. Mr. Chairman.
All right, thank you, Mr. Baxley. Can you put the zoning map back up, please? Where does it say what the yellow is? I can't see it.
Sorry.
Oh, there it is. I got you. Thank you. R15. Oh, it's R15. R15.
Were they yellow?
For those with nearsightedness.
The pale yellow.
That's a pale yellow, yeah,
Yeah.
that's R15.
Beige
Well,
kind of thing. All right, any questions for staff, comments? I mean, it's totally surrounded by R-15.
I make a motion to deny.
Goodness. All righty. Mr. Parham's got the motion to deny. Mr. Moore has the second. Any further discussion?
Mr. Chairman, I'd love to hear a reason or three on denial.
Well, you don't have to on zoning,
Well,
Mr. Hammond.
I'm
but
just asking.
You can
Asking
ask.
a question. If you're going to deny, maybe say why.
No? On zoning, you don't have to. I mean, if,
Not saying he has to. I'm just asking the question.
do y'all want to say anything?
No.
No.
Well, I'll say something.
Yeah, I figured.
It's you got R-15 surrounding it. The comp plan is suburban neighborhood, which is a density of 3 to 5 dwelling units per acre. So I'm struggling with why you want to deny the application and you don't have the courage to offer an opinion as to why you're denying the application. It's sewer. You'll have a bite at this at preliminary plat approval. If you have traffic concerns or whatever else it may be, you'll have the ability to bring that up at preliminary plat approval. To just come out and say, hey, we deny, yeah, you got the right to do that, sure. I think it would be in fairness, it'd be nice if the applicant had a reason or two to hear. But I'm just curious, when it's R-15, you're surrounded by R-15. Again, the comp plan supports it dramatically on the 3 to 5 dwelling units per acre, which R-15 is not going to be anywhere near that. It just seems that on a rezone, this is a very clear-cut approval. On a preliminary plat approval, then sure, pick it apart. But just puzzling.
All right, thank you, Mr. Hammond. Any other comments?
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Moore?
since there's been a request for a reason, I'll give you one. West Georgia Road has traffic load of over 13,000 cars a day. State regulations or state code says a road like this is at capacity at 10,000 cars per day. Part of the reason it's so overloaded is all the houses that are in that area. It's just before you get into Simpsonville. And if you've ever been there in the morning or afternoon, it backs up. And my issue is adding 46, 42, or 73 more houses only is going to make the situation worse. And if you talk to the public, roads are the #1 issue. And if this body, Planning Commission, can't consider that kind of thing, which is difficult to do given the regulations, but as a zoning case, we can. And that's the reason it's a safety issue with regards to West Georgia Road.
All right, Mr. Moore. Mr. Parham.
I kind of took the approach that it went without a lot of explanation. Anybody that looks at it or has been out there or was at the zoning hearing meeting last week would have heard all the reasons that were just stated. I didn't feel like it constituted repeating. But since it's been requested and since some of the logic used was, well, it's surrounded by R15. If you look at the map, it's the pale yellow that's R15. If you want to look at the coloring there and the different zoning codes, there's just about as much, if not more RS around it. So that logic just doesn't hold water in my humble opinion. Thank you.
All righty, Ms. Manning.
I understand that the Toll Brothers has been required or is already going to be doing a left-hand turn lane. Is that correct?
It's not part of this.
I'm just kind of curious. Is that a yes? Thank you. How about a right-hand turn lane?
All righty. Any other comments? Thank God. All right, the motion on the floor is to deny. All those that would like to vote for denial, raise your hand. Those for approval, raise your hand. All right, 5-4, it's recommended denial.
The next docket is CZ-2026-008. The property is located on SE Highway 418 and Hopkins Road in Pelzer. The applicant is Daniel Hirschberger. The 15.15 acre subject property consists of one parcel and is located approximately 1.17 miles east of the intersection of Highway 418 and Augusta Road, Highway 25 South, and currently contains vacant land. This is the zoning of the surrounding area. Subject property outlined here is zoned RR3, Rural Residential District. The request is for C1 Commercial District. You can also see the surrounding property zones. The applicant states that the proposed land use is retail and office. This is the subject site and photos showing the area surrounding the subject site. Staff is of the opinion that successful rezoning to C1 Commercial District would not be consistent with the Plan Greenville County Comprehensive Plan future land use designation of rural, nor would it be consistent with the South Greenville Area Plan future land use designation of agricultural. Based on these reasons, staff recommends denial of the requested rezoning to C1 Commercial District. Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, sir. Questions for staff or a motion?
I'll make a motion, we accept staff's recommendation for denial, and I'd like to make a comment that maybe the applicant, if they are really interested in doing so, they might want to pursue a, again, a review district with a clearer plan of
What's going to go there?
what they're submitting, maybe with better landscaping and things to hide, I mean, to make it compatible with the area.
I'll second with the conditions.
Those were comments.
Well,
Comments.
But I agree.
Ms. Phillips made a motion to accept staff's recommendation for denial. Mr. Holland has a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. No. It doesn't work that way.
The next docket is CZ-2025-009. The property is located on SC Highway 418 in Pelzer. The applicant is Daniel Hirschberger. The 3.14 acre subject property consists of one parcel and is located approximately 1.0 miles northeast of the intersection of Highway 418 and Augusta Road, Highway 25 South. It currently contains vacant land. This is the zoning of the surrounding area. Subject property outlined here is zoned RR3, Rural Residential District. The request is for C1 Commercial District. You can also see the surrounding property zones. The applicant states that the proposed land use is retail and office. This is the subject site and photos showing the area surrounding the subject site. Staff is of the opinion that successful rezoning to C1 Commercial District would not be consistent with the Plan Greenville County Comprehensive Plan future land use designation of rural, nor to be consistent with South Greenville Area Plan future land use designation of rural preservation. Based on these reasons, staff recommends denial of the requested rezoning to C1 Commercial District. Mr. Chairman.
All right. Commissioners, anything further?
Mr. Chairman, I make a recommendation for staff for
Nope.
approve their denial.
You make a motion.
A motion.
Okay.
I'll second the motion.
No.
Mr. Holland made the motion to accept staff's recommendation to deny, and Mr. Matusevic has the second. Any further discussion? All in favor to deny, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. At least he didn't say it again.
Next docket is CZ-2026-010. The properties are located at 351, 355, and 359 Roberts Road in Simpsonville. The applicant is Charles Thomas. The 2.04 acre subject property consists of three parcels and is located approximately 0.5 miles southwest of the intersection of Five Forks Roadway, Highway 296, and Woodruff Road, Highway 146, and currently contains single-family residential. This is the zoning of the surrounding area. Subject property outlined here is zoned RS, Residential Suburban District. The request is for R10, Single Family Residential District. You can also see the surrounding property zones. The applicant states that the proposed land use is to replace the existing manufactured homes with duplexes. This is the subject site and photos showing the area surrounding the subject site. Staff is of the opinion that successful rezoning to R10 single-family residential district will be consistent with the planned Greenville County Comprehensive Plan future land use designation of suburban neighborhood and would not have an adverse impact on the surrounding area. Based on these reasons, staff recommends approval of the requested rezoning to R10 single-family residential district. Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, sir. Could you put the plat back up, please? One more back. Thank you. If we agreed to R10, or if council agrees to it, they can't get any more than one house on each parcel. That's what my biggest fear is. One more than one building. If he decides to just combine these three that are R10, now he's got a little miniature subdivision.
I'm sorry. Potentially up to 8 units. Under R10, you can have up to 4.4 units per acre.
And how much is this?
2.4.
Yeah,
2.04.
Okay. So that's my fear, but duplexes I like, but
Yeah.
again, we go back to the review.
Are farm animals allowed on R10?
They are not. They could have chickens, but they can only have up to 8 hens that would have to be in the backyard in a coop that meets setback requirements.
Okay.
Where'd that come from?
For any of you that might have drive through there are a couple property owners just on that small little road who have goats. So I don't know how compatible that would be.
Any other questions, comments? Take a motion.
I'd like to have a motion to deny CZ 2026-010.
I'll second.
All right. Ms. Manning made a motion to deny. Ms. Phillips has a second. Any further comments? God almighty. All those in favor of denial, raise your hand. All those not in favor of denial, raise your hand. All right. It's approved 5-4. Julie, did you get everybody?
Yes.
Okay. All righty. So endeth the zonings.
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Mattisevich?
Just to be on the straight side here, we had a motion to deny that failed. Do we need to have a corresponding motion to approve?
I was thinking that. We've done that on other
Yeah, I
pieces of
know,
business.
but, okay.
In that case, I will make a motion to approve.
Okay, Mr. Mattisevich made a motion to approve. And, Ms. Franklin has a second. I got it. Just give me a second. All in favor, raise your hand to approve. All right. All those not in favor, or in favor to deny, okay. All righty. Usually on zonings, I'm not quite that picky, but you got a point. All right.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is 2025-224 Hazel Hills. Hazel Hills is a proposed rural conservation subdivision. It is located northwest of the intersection of Locust Hill Road, which is a state road, and Highway 25, also a state road. The applicant is requesting 18 lots on 44 acres for a density of 0.41 units per acre. Access will be provided off of Locust Hill Road. Here is the site plan that was submitted in your packets. The proposed subdivision includes one ingress with 2 internal roads. All lots are at least 1.5 acres to comply with the county's septic requirements for properties in the unzoned area. The site also meets open space requirements per LDR Article 22 with 7.9 acres of open space provided and a 50-foot undisturbed perimeter buffer. Hazel Hills is also proposing 2 detention ponds, 1 CBU pull-off area with common area with appropriate parking and appropriate riparian buffers on site. The development parcel is also bisected by an overhead power line that is not counted toward the open space in compliance with the requirements of LDR Article 22. Here is the site outlined in red. The site is unzoned. The subject site is part of the Greenville County Comprehensive Plan where it is designated RT, Rural Living. The rural living character area is generally defined as transitional areas that offer opportunities for low-intensity development that is well integrated with the natural landscape and agricultural uses. Residential development may occur as individual single-family structures on large lots or clusters of homes designed to preserve large amounts of interconnected open space. The rural living character area type recommends a density of 1 dwelling units per 2+ acres. Hazel Hills is proposing a density of 0.41 units per acre. Here is the site and west of the site. Here is south of the site and east of the site. SAC comments that were provided at the meeting. From Metro, please submit a septic request form for approval. And from REWA, please submit a septic request for approval. All other SAC comments were addressed during the resubmittal period. Staff recommends approval of the plan with the following conditions and standard and specific requirements. Conditions are as follows. 1, provide an updated septic request form signed by REWA and Metro. Mr. Chairman.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Staten. Nobody signed up in opposition. We only have 1 signed up in favor. You can have the whole 10 minutes. Kevin Tumlin, the engineer.
Hey, Kevin Tumlin, Freeland and Associates, 323 West Dawn Avenue, Greenville. Megan pretty much said everything about the site that I was going to cover, so I'm just really here to answer any questions.
Anybody got a question?
Yeah.
Mr. Hall.
Thank you. I travel this road 3-4 times a week. My only concern is you're right in and right out. If somebody's coming out of this neighborhood and they want to make a left turn on 290 to go back toward Greer, they're taking their life into their own hands anyway, because that road, you're on the downhill grade at that point. People are flying through there trying to be sped up enough to get on to 25. Is there no way you can move this entrance somewhere else?
We've had about 100 conversations and meetings with the SCDOT, met them on site as well, and this is the only place we could get site distance, and we could only get it for right in, right out. So this is the best we could do.
So what is a neighbor going to do when they make their right out? They're going to go down to 25 and then cross over 4 lanes to make the left to come back down to that little side road that runs on the triangle lot there to come back up to 290?
Yeah, I can't answer that. It's obviously not ideal, and if we can figure out a way to make it a full access with DOT later on, we'll come back and we'll present it to you guys again. But right now, this was the best we could do, so we're kind of stuck with it.
That's a pretty steep grade too, coming off that property.
Yeah, we're going to cut that down. That bank's going to be graded down. And again, it's only 18 lots. So.
Well, I mean, 18 lots, but that if one person gets killed coming out of that neighborhood and 18 lots, that's still one person too many.
Yeah, well, again,
and I know speed is a factor, and they're just trying to get out of their neighborhood, but somebody flying down, possibly in an 18-wheeler, to get on to 25. There's been a lot of construction through there with the new water tower they've put in and gas line being run, and I don't know. That road's heavily traveled too.
Yeah, well, I'll just say, we've had the same concerns, and so does the SCDOT, but they have approved this. We actually did more at this stage with the SCDOT than we normally do, and they're good with this access, so we feel okay about it.
They're okay with the sight line because somebody else has suggested that it's not sufficient.
Yeah, we needed 525 feet for sight distance, and the DOT checked it, and they have 631 feet. So
From
we're
your
good
entrance
there.
to 25, there's that much footage, 600?
Taking a right out, looking back to the left. That's the only way you would look if you're right out only.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, okay.
Mr. Chairman, got a question.
Go ahead, Mr. Moore.
The 525 feet, is that for automobiles or for large trucks?
That's for automobiles.
Okay, there's a sand pit less than a mile and a half down the road from this. And they have very big trucks coming out of there. And when you look at the SCDOT regulations, when you get to large trucks, the sight distance starts almost doubling. So a truck coming over that hill at 55 miles an hour, even a right in, I'd be concerned about, can they get stopped if this person pulls out in front of them?
Yeah. Well,
And that's why I have a concern with your distance, because it's for cars, and there's a fair number of trucks that come down that road.
Is your
Well,
mic on?
Pardon?
Is your mic on?
Yes,
Yes.
it is.
Okay.
the sight distance is measured, when you ask cars or trucks, what I'm talking about is it's a car that's leaving the site,
Right,
looking back to the left.
yes.
Instead of a truck. But actually, if a truck is coming, you can see it sooner than you can a car. So this was based on a vehicle, a regular car, not a truck. So sight distance for a larger truck would actually be better than what we're showing.
That's not what the regulation shows. It shows sight distances when you have a truck involved, it almost doubles. And because there's a
Because it
hill,
takes
you add
longer to
another
stop.
10% according to the regulation.
Yeah, but they're taller.
Everything
and
we've
bigger.
done was by the rules and regulations with SCDOT. And again, we spent more time on this than normal, and it has been approved by them, and they were really involved in this for a long time.
But
So-
I believe Article 8-14 doesn't distinguish between state and county. So the county still has that regulation.
But this is a state road.
That's right, but the county still can choose not to follow state sight distances if the county chooses to, I think.
On a state road, I've
Yes.
never heard of that. But
Well, that's because it hadn't been practiced here very much.
Megan, do you have an opinion on
And there's
that?
concrete trucks also.
Wouldn't it apply because the subdivision roads become county roads?
But the site distance is on the state road and it's owned by the state, so the site distance would be for the state road. That's my understanding. They have to give the encroachment permit, and they won't give it if it doesn't meet their site distance requirements.
That's right, but if the county's regulations is stricter, the county counts, doesn't it?
It's not the county's road to make determinations on.
But it's the county's subdivision they're looking out.
And they can do the roads within the subdivision, but
Wish we had legal here.
No, Mr. Walters can answer this question.
Mr. Chairman, we have our traffic
Sure.
engineer
No,
here.
come on, Kurt.
So the sight distance is based on the vehicle making the maneuver, which will be passenger cars leaving the subdivision.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Yep.
My discussion is on the state road, the truck coming down the road and down the hill.
Right, but that would be considering trucks leaving the neighborhood. That's when you would use that.
But they're
Because
turning,
the ones
they're
that
turning
have to pull out
right, so it
traffic,
doesn't matter.
and they're the ones
Mr.
that
Holland?
have the time to get out of the traffic.
So it's my understanding, based on a little bit of research I did with this property and an email or two that we received from folks, this was denied back in 21, 22. Do we know why it was denied?
I can answer that. Yeah, this was before the new septic tank regulations, so we had 44 lots on 44 acres, and we were trying to get a full access at that time. And site distance was a question, and we had not gone as far as we did this time with DOT in getting this approved ahead of time. So the site distance questions for a car taking a left out of the subdivision were a concern. So that's how we ended up where we're at now. The huge reduction in number of lots and a right in, right out.
I thought Plat A was partially, it was cluster, wasn't it?
It was, yes.
That was another reason.
Yeah,
Okay.
So don't,
that's right.
I think,
I
I
have-
was here. Frank might have been.
Yeah. I've got a question about the habitat assessment. If you can expand on that. It looks like there are potential species,
Yeah.
animal and flora, that were indicated that could be part of the site, and I'm looking at the layout of the site, and I'm not really seeing where much of that is
Saved.
protected.
Yeah, we had a study done, and
Mhm.
it was, they didn't find anything, so this site didn't apply.
But it sounds like they didn't actually, nobody went out on the site to look. They just looked to see what might be available, might be around that have been reported. Is that how this worked?
No, we had the wetlands consultants actually go to the site.
Okay. All right.
And we can, yeah, that should have been part of the submittal, but we can
I
provide
read
that if
it.
needed.
I think we just gotta, I don't know that we got the whole thing, but I
Yeah.
read it, so I was trying to understand, was anything substantial really found or not?
No,
Okay.
Excuse me, Mr. Chair. How long do they actually spend out there?
I can't. That's
That's
not
what
my.
it wasn't clear to me
that's-
either.
That's not my area of expertise, but they're professionals and they signed off on it, so they did what was required.
Right. So,
Yes, thank you.
I have another question. Is there,
Raise your hand. Mr. Hall.
is there no way to adjust your plat and possibly make your entrance off the side road back there from lot 13, near the power line right away?
No, we've got wetlands, we've got stream buffers, we've got steep slopes,
Right.
and the property actually comes to that
Point.
road at a
Right.
point, so we'd have to acquire some more property. But yeah, we looked at that, even early on in the first round, we looked at it as an emergency access, and we couldn't even make that work.
This is the
Wow.
only location that's been approved by the feds or the state.
The state, not the feds.
Same,
It might as well
same
be the same
thing.
thing.
Yeah,
with DOT.
that was my joke, okay.
Mr. Chairman.
Mr.
I'd like to
Hammond.
comment.
Say something.
I'm looking at the traffic count in the packet that,
That's not what I want you
traffic
to say.
count's actually down over 8% over from 23 to, from 22 to 24. We're not in speed limit business, and there are two entities that are undefeated, God and SCDOT. And SCDOT, despite what's been mentioned, there are no county road regs in this specific instance that trump DOT. There just aren't. DOT's road. They do what they want to do, and they do what they want to do. They're not giving you any more than they have to. They're giving you a right in, right out. There's no other place to put the entrance. From a density standpoint, this is 0.82 units per 2 acres, below the comp plan. We're not in the traffic safety management business. That's what DOT does. It's their road. I would recommend we approve this
don't you
application.
Make a motion.
Make a motion, we approve the
All
application.
righty, Mr. Hammond made a motion to approve. Can I get a second?
I'll second it.
Mr.
May I ask a
Matasevic
question?
has a second. Yes, you can ask a question too.
Sir, the description of this area was rural living. Tell us about, are you planning to cut a lot of trees? Obviously you have to cut some. How much of the terrain is going to remain undisturbed, besides the buffer that we obviously see on the diagram?
Yeah, the plan right now is for these to be, the site will not be mass graded. It's going to be crawl spaces, basements, and then, so the area cleared will just be enough for the house and the landfill and the drain field. But each of these lots are over 1.5 acres, so it'll be a small percentage of each lot that's actually cleared.
Okay, thank you.
I have one more question for the developer.
Mr. Holland?
The new water tower that's at the back of this property, how will they access that for maintenance and?
Yeah, the site has an easement over on the west side of the site, if you look at the drawing.
Right.
And
So they'll have to come in off Highway 25?
Maintenance comes off Highway 25 and this property owner actually worked with Blue Ridge to provide that easement when they made improvements to their water tower.
We have a motion on the floor to approve. We have a second.
Mr. Chair.
Any further discussion?
Just a quick comment. It looks like a decent, the lot size and for the area, that kind of thing. Just a big concern for me after riding out there and riding all the way around this place, and been up and down 290 quite a bit myself to 25. I just can't support the entrance. I wish there was a way you could do this differently, but that's all. Thank you.
All righty. Any other comments? Please, no. The motion is to approve. All in favor, raise your hand. All right. Those are opposed, raise your hand. All right. You good, Julie? All righty. It's approved 6-3.
I like the development, I just don't like the entrance.
Next case is PP 2026-002, Haven at Sandy Springs Phase 2. Haven at Sandy Springs Phase 2 is a proposed conventional subdivision. It is located southwest of the intersection of West Georgia Road, which is a state road, and Sandy Springs Road, which is a county road. The applicant is requesting 3 lots on 3.001 acres for a density of 0.99 units per acre. Access will be provided directly to each lot off of Sandy Springs Road. Here is the site plan that was included in the packet. The proposed subdivision includes lots with individual access onto Sandy Springs Road, supported by an access variance request accompanying this application. The variance requests waiver of an internal road for these 3 lots in favor of direct driveway access onto Sandy Springs Road for each lot. The new lots will share the detention pond and mail kiosk with the previously approved part of Phase 1. Here is the site outlined in red. And here is the zoning of the site. The site is zoned RR1. The subject site is a part of the Greenville County Comprehensive Plan where it is designated as RT, Rural Living. The rural living character area is generally defined as transitional areas that offer opportunities for low-intensity development that is well integrated with the natural landscape and agricultural uses. Residential development may occur as individual single-family structures on large lots or clusters of homes designed to preserve large amounts of interconnected open space. The rural living character area type recommends a density of 1 dwelling per 2+ acres. Haven at Sandy Springs Phase 2 is proposing a density of 0.99 units per acre. The subject property is part of the South Greenville Area Plan as well, where it is designated as rural preservation, which recommends 0 to 0.3 units per acre. Here is the site and north of the site, and here is west and east of the site. Here is the view to the south of the site. This is the variance that was submitted in connection with this application. The applicant is requesting a variance from the requirement for an internal road on the major subdivision for a portion of the requested lots pertaining to the approved PP 2025-197. The request is for 3 residential lots. These are lots 9, 10, and 11 to have individual access onto Sandy Springs Road. SAC comments that were provided at the meeting from Metro. A septic request for this development was approved on January 15th, 2026. From REWA, a request for this development was approved by REWA on August 29th, 2025. All other SAC comments were addressed during the resubmittal period. Staff recommends approval of this plan and the variance with the standard and specific requirements. Mr. Chairman.
Ms. Staton, on the previous application, there was a condition, wasn't there, that we missed?
Oh, yes, the septic.
The septic,
Yeah.
which I don't think we should include. Mr. Hammond, would you want to include that condition? Didn't you make the motion to approve?
On the previous
Yeah,
application.
on the previous. I'm going back one.
If there was a condition that staff recommended, sure.
Well, but no, we were trying to not tell Rewall and Metro what to do.
Well, they don't listen to you anyway.
Well, okay. Getting confused. Are you okay with that condition? Weren't you the second on that approval?
On that one.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yes, that would be fine.
Okay. All right, is everybody okay with that condition, with the septic, or what was that? Can you go back real quick? I'm sorry, we had missed that. My fault.
The last application.
Yeah.
What do you want me to go back to?
The last application,
The last.
Hazel Hills, there was a
Okay.
condition 1,
Okay.
there. I don't think we should include that condition, but the people making the motion,
So you're proposing not include a condition?
right, that's all I'm asking for.
I'm fine with not including the
All right,
condition.
are you okay with that?
Fine with that as well.
All right.
We need to revote.
Everybody that voted to approve, raise your hand again. Are you okay with this? You said okay. Okay. All righty. We're approving this without staff's condition. It's approved without staff's condition. Sorry for the confusion.
I'll change my vote to denial. I don't know if I denied the last time. If I voted to deny. I
It
think I
was-
voted in favor.
Yeah, you did.
Well, I'll change my vote.
Why? To not,
Because I disagree with removing the septic, the sewer.
it's not our purview.
It's a process.
All right, we're gonna do this again. I'm sorry, staff. I think it'll be 5-4 approved without staff's condition. If you take Ms. Phillips away, it's 5-4?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let's just,
Mr. Chair,
yes,
just for clarity on the record, it might be better if you actually reheld the vote.
all right. Mr. Hammond made a motion to approve Hazel Hills without staff's condition. Mr. Matusevic has the second. All in favor, raise your hand. All those opposed, raise your hand. All right. Sorry, I should have, that condition. Now, back to Haven. And staff is complete. No one signed up in opposition. Stephanie Gates signed up in favor.
Good evening.
Oh.
Sorry.
No, sorry.
Stephanie Gates, 225 Rocky Creek Road, engineer and surveyor on this project. You probably recognize this from a couple months ago. These three would have been on the original, but there was an error with the variance application, so we had to remove it since the variance application did not go in with the original. So this is 3 additional lots in conjunction with the 8 lots that you, or it's only 3 additional, the 8 are already approved. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
Commissioner,
Mr. Chair.
Mr. Parham.
So, if I understand what you just said, you intended initially to file a variance at the same time with the original.
We did file a variance with the original. The program that the county uses is a little bit quirky, and it doesn't allow you to pay the application along when you submit it, and we missed the request to pay the application, and therefore they removed our request for the variance application. I didn't want to get into that, but.
That's okay. That's okay. I mean, if it needs to be fixed, it needs to be fixed.
Yep.
But all software has bugs. So, but it was your intent from the beginning to ask for the variance for these 3 lots?
Yes.
Along with the original
Yes.
submission?
And it actually went to SAC with all 11 lots on it in the original submission as well. And we removed the 3 lots due to the fact that we couldn't actually go to Planning Commission without the variance application.
So what I'm trying to understand is, and you know, it's water under the bridge. These others, the first phase was approved. But why would you start with, we need a variance versus complying with the LDR? Could you not rework this to where all those 3 lots were in the subdivision? I mean, by definition, that's a subdivision
Yeah.
versus 3 independent lots.
No, sir, the 3 lots we could not get configured due to the grades and changes in the grade. And we have some drainage coming off of the road coming onto us that we have to deal with, and getting all that working together. There's a lot of other engineering components in there that go along with it. So they would not have been able to be part of that.
Okay. So it's not really part of the subdivision. We would have to give you a variance. So, okay, thank you.
Staff, are we having to approve the original approval again? Or we're just looking at the 3 lots and the variance?
It's just the 3 lots and the variance. This is a
Okay.
phase 2.
And you couldn't, well, I guess since it's the same name, you can't do a minor.
No,
Couldn't
because
do a
it,
minor anyways, because it wouldn't have been a minor since it's part of the total parcel.
Okay.
And it would have exceeded 6 lots.
Okay. All righty, any other questions for the engineer?
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Matusevic.
I will make a motion to approve this PP 2020-6002.
And the variance?
If we can do them both at once,
Yes,
I'll be
we
happy to
can.
do them, make a motion for both of them.
All righty.
Mr. Chair, I second.
All righty, Mr. Matusevic made a motion to approve the additional lots along with the variance. And Ms. Franklin has the second. Any further comment? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no.
No.
Mr. Holland has a no.
I also had a no.
I'm
sir.
sorry, Mr. Parr.
This is PP 2026-003, Cooper Ridge at Five Forks. Cooper Ridge at Five Forks is a proposed subdivision within the Scuffletown Rural Conservation District. It is located north of the intersection of, It is located north of the intersection of Scuffletown Road, which is a state road, and Levon Road, which is a state road as well. The applicant is requesting 53 lots on 31.18 acres for a density of 1.7 units per acre. Access would be provided off of Cooper Lake Road. Here is the site plan that was submitted in your packets. Let's see. The proposed subdivision includes one ingress-egress point, lots that meet the required 6,000 square feet for a subdivision in the Scuffletown Rural Conservation District, 50-foot vegetative exterior buffer around the perimeter of the site and along Cooper Lake Road, a 150-foot rural scenic buffer along Scuffletown Road, a 50-foot riparian buffer along the Blue Line Stream, 2 detention ponds in the common area, and mailbox CBU in common area with 2 parking spaces. This is the natural resources exhibit that was provided as well. Here is the site outlined in red. And here is the zoning of the site. You can also see the Scuffletown Rural Conservation District overlay in place there as well. The subject site is part of the Greenville County Comprehensive Plan, where it is designated as suburban neighborhood. Suburban neighborhoods are generally shaped by residential subdivisions of medium lot homes with relatively uniform housing types and densities. The suburban neighborhood character area type recommends a density of 3 to 5 dwelling units per acre. Cooper Ridge at Five Forks is proposing a density of 1.7 units per acre. And it says, staff is aware that while this development appears to have been designed with an open space type development, it was actually designed and submitted meeting the requirements of Section 8 and 9 of the zoning ordinance, which is the Scuffletown Rural Conservation District, which is not a part of the moratorium, which is just on Section 7.2 of the zoning ordinance. The subject property is also part of the Scuffletown Rural Conservation District. Here is the site and west of the site. Here is south of the site and east of the site. SAC comments that were provided at this month's meeting, or this past month's meeting. From Metro, a request for this development was approved by Metro on December 29th, 2025. And from REWA, a request from this development was approved by REWA on October 11th, 2025. All other SAC comments were addressed during the resubmittal period. Staff recommends approval with conditions of the plan with the standard and specific requirements. The conditions are provide a revised plan that includes the following updates from Simpsonville Fire Department. This includes emergency egress shall require engineer letter with install instructions of material and verification of ability to support 80,000 pounds for a fire truck. Move the hydrant located on Vista Trail to the end of the cul-de-sac between lots 36 and 37. You guys are probably just now seeing these conditions because I've added them in. I spoke with the fire department and they provided these comments at SAC verbally, but they didn't make it into our written packet. So I'm adding them here as a condition just to make sure that they're covered. With large diameter outlet facing roadway, move hydrant located on Crest Point Lane to end of cul-de-sac with large diameter outlet facing roadway. Main entrance into subdivision shall meet 26 feet in width until the first intersection with Vista Trail. Due to number of lots and only one entrance, Vista Trail and Crest Point Lane shall require no parking on street fire lane signage, and cul-de-sac shall require no parking fire department turnaround. Cul-de-sac shall be increased to a radius of 50 feet due to fire apparatus responding to the area. Roadway on Vista Trail in front of emergency access shall be marked no parking fire access on curb or roadway. Binder coat of asphalt curbing. Functioning fire hydrants shall be installed prior to any combustibles on site. Mr. Chairman.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Nobody signed up in opposition. The only person is Paul Harrison for favor. You didn't check in favor. You didn't check in favor.
Yeah, Can I hand out, I got some handouts I would like, I wanted to try to get it posted on the screen, but, so each one of these, so everybody get one of those. Everybody gets one of, I got that. This one.
We'll take them and pass them down.
So just what's being passed out, just to kind of give you an explanation of, we made some minor comments to the plan, and we submitted them back to staff. I know what's before you is the plan on the screen. I'll tell you that the plan that's on paper being presented is very minimal changes to that, to this plan on the screen. We cleaned some things up just in conversations with staff and some other people, and we just felt like it just couldn't get back into your packet in time. So my request would be that we would, I would like for Planning Commission to consider the subdivision plan that you see in paper form. I can go over each little change. It was minimal. We made a couple open space areas larger than others, and we pushed the lots, some of the lots that back up to Cooper Lake Road. We took that strip of open space out and pushed those all the way back up to the buffer to provide a larger internal open space component for the neighborhood. So really and truthfully, those are the only minor changes that we made to the site plan. What's more important, in my opinion, is the other document that's stapled together, which kind of outlines our open space areas. You know, as you're well aware, this is in the Scuffletown Rural Overlay. There's a 150-foot scenic buffer along our frontage along Scuffletown Road. And the numbers that you see in red basically correspond with the pictures I've provided. Because if you just look at this plan on the screen, you would say, that's a conglomerated mess. But it's hard to get a representation of this open space without actually putting boots on the ground and going out and taking a look at it. So that's what I tried to illustrate for you in the packet. Number one, just basically wanted to give a good representation of what it looks from Scuffletown Road. With the 150-foot buffer and then basically another more than 100 feet, we won't have any lot lines any closer than 250, 275 feet of Scuffletown Road. And there is a substantial buffer there which will remain intact. That picture illustrates what that looks like. And then there's an existing pond on the site that I feel like is the basis and the focal point for the amenities and open space for this community. If you look at those pictures are illustrated by picture 2, and then so I'm standing right by the pond and I'm looking basically east and west and trying to illustrate the pictures of what that open space is going to look like. Basically where we show the red line is where the trail system will be. And it's a beautiful area. It's hatched on this plan as for the riparian buffers, but the creek is as wide as this podium, and everything out beyond that is usable open space. I mean, it can be used. It can be accessed. Our vision was to have a trail system that basically wrapped around the pond and brought basically that whole area to focus. The other good thing about it is the house that's on the property that you can see in the aerial they have a paved driveway coming into that house, and that paved driveway, a lot of that paved driveway will serve as our trail system for the community, which is also a good thing. We just feel like, you know, I went out and spent a lot of time out at the site, just walking the site, just so I could try to illustrate. And the pictures, you know, I did the best I could, but it's hard to envision it without actually seeing it in person. It truly is a unique piece of property. And then I also want to point out, like, which if you look at it on the plan, the little pocket open space in between the blue lots and the purple lots, if you look at that area, just at first glance, you would say, well, yeah, I mean, that's about 2 or 3 swipes with a lawnmower. So picture 7, what I tried to illustrate for you was I took an internal open space area that's within Verde, around Ruskin Square. That area is 120 feet wide by 300 feet deep. So I basically took that same dimension of that open space in Verde, and I overlaid it on the first sheet, on the aerial. And it's illustrated as number 7. So you can kind of get an idea about how big some of these open space areas are.
Roughly the size of a football field.
Well, it's 120 feet, well, it's 300 feet, so it's
Skinny.
It is. I mean, it's 120 feet wide, but it's as long as a football field.
Right.
And you can see how it kind of fits in that area, as I've shown. So even little pockets like Area 6, when you look at that area and you say, well, you know, what that, you know, for us, it's a good breakup between back of lots, between 2 different products, just trying to provide as much contiguous open space for the entire community as we could. But really and truthfully, the main focus point is that northern open space property. The buffer along Cooper Lake Road is, that buffer is only 50 feet. And I wanted you to see what that looked like because there's not much of a buffer there. We're obviously going to have to, we're going to have to establish that buffer because there's nothing existing there that serves as any buffer.
Which area are you referring to again?
If you look at picture 6, there's a picture of like looking down Cooper Lake Road.
Mm-hmm.
There's really not any kind of established buffer along Cooper Lake Road. I think that's something that's going to have to be established during construction, and
So you would do some plantings.
Well, I think with berms and plantings and stuff like that, unless the county says, I mean, is there any reason why I can't disturb those buffers, those areas, if there's nothing there?
They're meant to be undisturbed.
Okay. There's an overhead power line that runs down Cooper Lake Road, and there's not a, I mean, obviously, it'll sit back, the lot lines will sit back a lot further, and then the house sits up toward our internal.
So the houses be visible?
Could be.
Yeah.
Could be, but we could put, outside of that 50-foot buffer on the back of the lots, we could put private, some buffering along the back of the lots. If I can't touch anything in the 50-foot.
Yeah, I think that's part of the scuffle town about not having the, not really being able to see homes as much and having some barriers there, buffers.
Yeah, and I think that's really the only area, the only area that we need to treat and we need to be concerned with. I don't think you'll see anything from Scuffle Town. We're providing the required open space. We're, 54.8% open space provided. We tried to put a lot of thought and effort in that. We tried to keep our ponds in areas that, we're not the property along Cooper Lake Road, obviously at some point in time it was timbered. So we're trying to keep what existing vegetation and tree areas that are intact. We obviously want to preserve as many of those areas as possible. Sewer connects through to Tuscany Falls, which is just to the northwest, and our access is off of Cooper Lake Road. We're not planning on having any kind of pool, cabana. You know, our open space is basically passive open space with trails and, you know, fields where people can gather and have activities. I mean, that's my gist of the application, of the subdivision application, but I do have a couple comments about the specific requirements, and we obviously plan to comply with the fire department requirements and stuff like that, but and for the most part, I comply with everything that they stated, maybe with the exception of the larger cul-de-sacs, because I don't think you see that anywhere in Greenville County, where you have, if I read that correctly, 100-foot diameter cul-de-sacs. So,
Can y'all show that again?
Yep.
Because we didn't have it in our
Please put that back
packets.
up.
yeah, I think that's what I read.
Thought it was 80.
50-foot radius, yeah.
There is a 50-foot due to
Diameter
fire,
100.
so the bigger ladder trucks couldn't turn there.
I know Claire Springs is also recommended that prior, but with other subdivisions.
And at the end of the day, if we have to do that, we can do that. Our thought is we plan to turn these roads over to the county, so, you know, the county would be ultimately be responsible for that, which is fine. And then the other thing about the providing a 26-foot main entrance up to the first intersection, typically we would only propose that if we were trying to get around not having an emergency access. I mean, because that is one of the avenues that you can do, is widen the road up to the first intersection in lieu of an emergency access. In this case, you know, we only have 49 lots and we have the emergency access. Once again, we can do it if we're required to. I just think that this is going a little bit above and beyond what we typically do and what you see in other subdivisions in Greenville County. So
Did you not talk to the fire marshal?
Yeah.
we do what now?
What he asked you, did you not speak to the fire marshal at
We
Simpsonville FD?
we didn't. We tried to get the comments in writing, like Megan stated. When we showed up to SAC, the comments were presented to us verbally. We reached out to the fire marshal to try to get those comments just summarized in a email or a letter or something. And we were not able to get them. This is the first I heard that Greenville County. When were you able to get them?
They were sent to me this week.
All right, well, then I've got a question. You can stop his clock. When you guys have these SAC meetings and the fire department is there, correct? The representative from the department in question is at the
Physically.
meeting. Okay? Are we not taking notes, records, or is it not recorded, or?
So they're sent the like the plans to review and put on the file.
Right.
It was just an oversight that we didn't see it on the actual reviewed plans.
Does the fire department typically make verbal requests for this type of thing, for conditions?
If they come to the meeting, they can provide their comments verbally, but they should also be putting their comments on the plans as well.
Well, that's not what I asked you. If they come, you said if they come to the meetings, typically they don't come?
No. I mean, it depends on the fire department, but, I mean, if you wanted a percentage
fix
of
that.
attendance, we only get about half or less come to our actual meeting.
So then how are we communicating with the public services that are affected, that are
We
supposed to be
send
part of
them-
this SAC?
For each and every subdivision, we send them the fire marshal that we have as our contact.
Right.
The plan, it gets sent with the agenda. You guys actually are on the same
Right.
email
Right.
listserv that goes out, and you get that same agenda when they do. And then we also, because they're part of our SAC review team, we send them the plans for review as well.
Okay, so the plans were reviewed by the fire marshal at the Simpsonville Fire Department, and he came back with a request to make the diameter of the cul-de-sacs larger and no parking on Vista Trail and Crescent Point Lane. And that's for their access in the event of an emergency. But they weren't in writing, they were just verbally given?
That's what it appears like. I don't know if he actually did write them and it didn't copy over. I don't know if it was a situation with our software. What I do know is that I didn't have record of it. I reached out to confirm record of it. He provided me these comments in email.
Okay. I guess my next question would be, how are we gonna enforce, or how's the county gonna enforce no parking on these streets during holidays, birthday parties, anniversaries, graduations, that type of thing? How's that gonna be enforced?
Complaint driven.
That typically
Recourse.
that would be a complaint driven. So
Yeah.
if we got
Right.
a complaint, we would send that would probably come in through some type of portal, either in code enforcement or the fire department, and they would go out and
Right.
to what extent they would be issuing any citations or violations. I can't speak to that from a fire department
You're
standpoint.
probably not gonna see the fire department write a ticket, but even
They
though
do have the ability.
They do have the ability. I was a fireman for 35 years. We can, but typically don't.
Now, does,
So.
Can you let him finish?
no, I was gonna, on
But
top of that.
I'm just
Well,
concerned
let's
that
keep things
this got dropped somehow. We just don't, I mean, this is a life safety issue. We don't need to have these things happening. So I'm glad that it was caught. But if it's on their end, somebody ought to speak to them. But if it's on this end with the staff, somebody ought to speak to them. So, I mean,
Paul, let me throw something out. This revised drawing got to us later than it should have. It didn't get through SAC. You've got a ton of conditions here you need to go work out with the fire marshal.
I'm okay with all, I said that I can comply with all of those conditions. We can make the road the 26-foot, I mean, it's already.
Well, it's gonna affect the layout because of the lots. These cul-de-sacs are gonna affect the layout some, isn't it?
I don't know that I would increase the right-of-way, I don't know that I would increase the right-of-way by going to a 26-foot road. I may have to increase the right-of-way slightly on the two cul-de-sacs, but I don't think those are significant enough changes to where it's not gonna significantly affect the site plan at all.
It's not gonna decrease the open space.
Maybe by 500ths. I don't. I mean, it's going to be minimal.
Mr. Chair.
Mr. Parham?
So one of the things that I think we need to decide before we go much further, are we going to finish this out tonight, meaning this docket? Because a lot of these things that we're looking at and things we're talking about, they all came in after the deadline. So are we going to, let's address that first, yes or no? Are we going to try to move forward with things either as they're being discussed now or as submitted? Or do we hold it, and I believe they have to agree to it, to next month?
I was in the middle of doing that when you jumped in.
Okay. I saw you do this. That's why I was trying to help you out.
Would you be willing to hold this till next month? And make all these changes and go through SAC, and let's do this the right way? Because the revised drawing with a much bigger open space and all this looks good, but I mean, it didn't make it through SAC, and several commissioners have complained that it wasn't in their original packet.
Absolutely.
All
I
right.
mean, yeah. And then we'll work with the fire department to try to get some of these.
Yeah,
some
I
of these
figured you would. That's
conditions
why I
off of
think
the,
this might be a better deal for you, and saves you reapplication and all that. So, all righty, we've agreed to hold this till next meeting in March. No.
Do I
Nope.
need to formally, would I need to formally submit the revised,
No. It's the chairman's option. Thank you. Mr. Moore, do you not agree with the hold?
No, I just want to make sure we don't have to come back. So we didn't vote on that. We got to vote.
No. We're good, thank you.
May I make one comment about the fire issue, and I'm not going to deal with the SAC comments. I'm not sure when they came in.
When did you get a fire hat?
I don't have one.
Okay, just want to throw that one out there.
What I do have is there are, Mr. Harrison, you may know how many special purpose districts there are in the county.
A lot. I don't know.
28
It's a
or
lot. It's a
something.
lot.
They all act in and among their own little world. So when, in fairness to the engineers of the world, what one fire marshal says in one special purpose district does not carry over to the next special purpose district. I don't recall ever seeing these requirements before this body. And Mr. Harrison makes a good point. The 26-foot wide width applies when you don't have an emergency exit. This has an emergency exit. The 50-foot radius in the cul-de-sac, we may have seen that before. I don't recall seeing that as a condition before. And so just a little bit of fairness, you know, all these special purpose districts act differently, and these may have acted timely. That's another.
We got a lot
The
more ladder
reason
trucks
they-
now.
The
Mr.
reason they act,
Yeah.
they can do that legally because the state comes up with.
Well, I'm
the
not
code.
saying it's not legal. I'm just saying
And the state fire marshal, there's a book, but each fire marshal in each fire district, it's based on his interpretation.
And each of them have different equipment
Well,
that makes a difference also. So
That's
you may
true.
have some that are saying, hey, we've got a lot of growth and we don't want to lose a life. So we're going to make extra things required. And I don't think the fire marshal is going to say, we want you to do A, B, C, and D, and E for no absolute reason.
right.
In fact, I'm confident that they're not.
Yeah, if you're confident.
Y'all done? Paul, 8.18 LDR says walkways are supposed to be gravel, asphalt, planted screenings, and other appropriate delineators. I don't think mulch is gonna, on something this long.
You talking about on our
Walkway, path.
pathways?
Yeah.
Yeah, most of those would be paved.
Oh, I saw it said mulch.
There might,
I just threw that out there. Go
yeah,
on.
yeah.
Go
We'll
away.
take a look, we'll take a look at that.
Go ahead. Well, you gotta come right back anyway.
This is PP 2026-004 Harbor Chase revision. Harbor Chase is a cluster option 1 subdivision located southwest of the intersection of Fairview Road, which is the state road, and SC 418. The applicant is requesting 85 lots on 113.51 acres for a density of 0.75 units per acre. Access is provided off of SC 418, which is a state road. Harbor Chase was approved at the June 2025 Planning Commission meeting for 85 lots, which is the same as currently proposed. This revision reroutes the layout of roads within the development due to topographical concerns. Here is the site plan that was submitted in your packets. The project includes 1 egress point, 1 hidden emergency entrance, 3 internal roads, 4 were previously proposed, 1 cluster mailbox area with 8 parking spaces, 20-foot screening buffers around the perimeter of the site, additional creek buffers along creeks on site, 4 detention ponds, 1.29 linear miles of new public road, and 57.28 acres of open space. 45.4 acres are required. Here's some other views of the site plan since it's a pretty large site. Here is the site outlined in red. And here is the zoning of the site. The site is zoned RR1. And the subject site is a part of the Greenville County Comprehensive Plan where it is designated as rural. Rural place types include working farms actively used for agricultural activities, including cultivated cropland, pastures, and raising livestock. The physical environment may consist of fences, tree rows, wooden areas, ponds, or large swales to drain cropland. Rural place types also support the primary residence of the property owner and any outbuildings associated. Otherwise, these place types are characterized by natural or cultivated landscapes with minimal development. The rural character area type recommends a density of 1 dwelling per 2+ acres. Less than 1 dwelling unit per acre is proposed for the site. Here is the site and the area south of the site. Here is west of the site and east of the site. All SAC comments were addressed at resubmittal. Staff recommends approval with conditions of the plan and with the standard and specific requirements. This condition was previously a condition of approval on the approved, so with the revision, it's just as follows. Per the traffic impact study, construct a westbound left turn lane on SC 418 at the site access with at least 150 feet of storage and taper. Mr. Chairman.
All righty. Nobody signed up in opposition.
There's like some, yeah, just that one page.
Look at the size of the. Or a hat. What's the white boxes?
So I thought it was important to identify the, really, and once again, I apologize. I thought that this could be, it's a minor change. It could be slipped into the package, but there's not a lot of differences between the plan that's in the plan that's on the screen and the plan that I presented. Really, the only other thing that I added was pretty much right in the center of the property where we have a greenway that connects the northwestern side to the southeastern side. We provided a continuous greenway through that area. So that's really the addition of the calling out the common area plate spots and that greenway is the only difference in this plan. This was previously approved, and to just kind of explain what happened here, this plan was previously approved. We got the good boundary, good topo. We started designing the site because we had Planning Commission approval. And we ran into some topographic issues that was greenway through that area. So that's really the addition of the calling out the common area plate spots and that greenway is the only difference in this plan. This was previously approved, and to just kind of explain what happened here, this plan was previously approved. We got the good boundary, good topo. We started designing the site because we had Planning Commission approval, and we ran into some topographic issues that we didn't foresee when we did the original preliminary plat. And what that caused us to do was to disconnect. If you'll see now, the entrance comes in and it basically connects on a lower route into the property. As before, it went up and connected where you see the where you see the cul-de-sac to the north. And from engineering, trying to meet the maximum grades on county roads, the K values, lots of other design constraints that we have to adhere to, we just could not physically do that. We couldn't do it. So I talked to staff about the change, and it was decided it needs to come back to Planning Commission. The one good thing about it is when we got the overall, got the actual good boundary and did the new site plan, we actually are providing more open space now than we have more open space now than than we previously had. And we don't have any more lots. We're not requesting any more lots. We're still well up under the density of 1 per acre, because we're only proposing 85 lots on 113.51 acres. So really it was, and we also felt like we needed to get the lots at that road that's coming into the property. It's going to be a little steeper. We kind of pulled the lots away from 418, tried to get them up into the site so we can get the road designed up into the site. So that was a whole reason and behind having to bring this application back to Planning Commission, because the internal road system is slightly different than what was originally approved.
I like this better because if it came in where the upper cul-de-sac is, you'd have a racetrack on that long stretch.
Yeah,
there.
you would have a long stretch of
Yeah, so now you break that up in the middle. So I think that's better.
Mr. Chairman,
Ms. Phillips,
got a couple questions for Mr. Harrison.
is it about sewer?
No.
Okay, good.
So what was exactly the date that this was resubmitted?
Our what you see on the screen was submitted per the deadline, whatever the deadline was.
Well,
The-
the
you talking
date
about-
on the plat doesn't meet the requirements for the review calendar. Are you aware? Do you want me to give you a handout?
No. I mean, which plat are you referring to? The one I just handed
The
out?
one you just handed out,
Yeah,
yes.
I
Okay.
made that.
Yeah.
I said that. I know we didn't.
He knows.
I
And the
didn't-
change is really the internal roads, the way they moved, maybe you moved it a few feet on 418. So you're going to have DOT is going to have to take another look at that. And
No, I didn't change anything. The road still comes in at
the same spot.
At the same
It's
spot.
the other
so the
end.
internal roads.
It's
The
other
internal
end that
road.
gets
So
moved.
county traffic engineering will have to take another look at that more than likely.
Oh, I've been in day-to-day, there was a time when we were back and forth with Kurt Walters. I've had many
Did you buy him
discussions
lunch?
with him. I didn't buy him
Oh,
lunch.
well, you
but,
should have. No.
But I've had, the application on the screen was submitted per the application deadline. The handout that I just gave you was just me highlighting the areas that, common areas that we're gonna treat.
So nothing's moved or changed.
The roads between that plan and this plan are the exact same.
Yes.
In the same location.
Yes.
Same location.
Yes.
So the open space and just kind of the little bit of layout.
No, same layout.
Yeah,
It's
looks
just
to
white
me.
boxes.
Oh,
Well,
Color.
and let me kind of touch on that too, because when this project moves forward and moves along, by the time it gets to final plat, what staff at Greenville County is going to do is they're going to pull out the preliminary plat approval. And if there's discrepancies in open space and final platting, I've had to come back to you guys, to Planning Commission, right before I got a final plat recorded because there was some discrepancy. So what I'm trying to do is match it up to the best of my ability to what I think is going to be recorded on the final plat. Because if there are discrepancies in that, then there's going to be a problem. And that's just me talking about down the road when we record the final plats.
I got a quick question for staff. This topo in the open space is sort of steep. None of it exceeds that 30%?
I don't believe so. I don't.
I'm just checking.
Yeah, I mean,
If you're good, I'm good.
yeah.
This is the 40% requirement. We did the 40%.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, it's a bunch of open space. Just any other questions for the engineer or staff? A motion or, yeah, this came in, but this has so few changes. He's explained them all. Some of you I know have concerns about coming in after SAC, but there's really not much change here.
Mr. Chair,
Mr.
I
Park.
think the main thing is to make sure everyone knows that there's deadlines. They exist for a reason. And, you know, in addition to us, the public has to have a chance to see this. That's why those deadlines are put in place. So if we proceed tonight, okay. If we don't, whatever the choice the Planning Commission decides to do.
I mean, I'm okay with you voting on that. I'm just gonna have to turn around and come back next month and show you this.
Well, there's talk of, would you hold this for the next meeting to let SAC and the public see it more? I mean, you just said you have to come back next month.
There's
so-
really no.
I'm telling you what other people say.
There's really no change there's no change at all. The open space is more than what was approved.
I know.
And
We approved it previously.
I would rather just vote on, for right now, I'd rather vote on what's on the screen. If you don't want to consider
Okay.
the new plan that I presented, I'd rather just vote on what was submitted, which is basically the same thing. And I would rather, and down the road, if I have to, I'll just bring these minor little, just changing it from open space to common area, some nomenclature stuff.
Are we good with that, Commissioner?
I do have a question for staff. I just pulled up that subdivision on the preliminary plat site, and I see a variance. Has there been a variance submitted for that subdivision? Is it active?
Previously, I believe there was a variance.
It looks like it's a date of 2/11.
It may have been,
Oh, that was the variance that we
For
were
the
trying
roads.
to get in with the roads, and we pulled that variance, remember?
that's right, yeah. I was thinking there hadn't been an approved
So
one.
it's no longer,
No.
okay, thank you.
I'm fine either way that the Planning Commission wants to go with whichever drawing tonight. Just made the point, and I think it's taken.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Matisiewicz,
I would like to make a motion.
go right ahead.
My motion is to approve with the conditions, the one condition regarding the traffic impact study, standard specific requirements and so on, based on the drawings that were included in our packet, which I believe is is that what's on the screen now?
Yep.
Okay. Based on that, I would make a motion that we approve what we see on the screen here. With that-
All righty, can I get a second?
I'll second.
All right, Mr. Moore. Mr. Matisiewicz made a motion to approve what was submitted along with the condition.
Okay. This is VAR 2025-218, 203 Rutherford Road, LDR 10.3.3 sidewalk variance. The applicant is seeking a variance from the requirements of LDR section 10.3.3, which requires a sidewalk along all sides of a development that abuts a public street in an area identified as a corridor by the comprehensive plan. The site is located in the mixed-use corridor character area. The applicant states that there are no other existing sidewalks along Florence Avenue, and that meeting this requirement.
Sidewalk along the main road, is that existing?
Mhm.
Yeah, it's long road.
Yes.
Okay. All righty, now go back to the drawing if you would. No, oh, nobody signed up in opposition or in favor, so
The applicant is seeking a variance from the requirements of LDR section 10.3.3, which requires a sidewalk along all sides of a development that abuts a public street in an area identified as a corridor by the comprehensive plan. The site is located in the mixed-use corridor character area. The applicant states that there are no other existing sidewalks along Florence Avenue, and that meeting this requirement.
sidewalk along the main road, is that existing?
Mhm.
Yeah, it's long road.
Yes.
Okay. All righty, now go back to the drawing if you would. No, oh, nobody signed up in opposition or in favor, so we're it.
I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman. I think there's relevance in why they're seeking the variance. However, is there any tool we could utilize, I say we, and walkability in neighborhoods? But the reality is that hasn't come to fruition. It takes a lot of money and grants and coordination. But is there any tool that, let's just say somebody develops 3 acres and sidewalks don't make sense, but some kind of pocket or money, that the county could take to use in the future, a fund? I don't know. Or would it be one of those things like the money has to be used within a certain period of time, like a infrastructure plan?
If I had all the money
that hasn't come to fruition, it takes a lot of money and grants and coordination. But is there any tool that, let's just say somebody develops 3 acres and sidewalks don't make sense, but some kind of pocket or money, that the county could take to use in the future, a fund? I don't know. Or would it be one of those things like the money has to be used within a certain period of time, like a infrastructure plan?
If I had all the money that's just a recommendation. And be helpful. I just thought it's sort of a middle ground, and it connects the sidewalk on the road to the sidewalk in front of the building. Just a suggestion. And staff has made me put in many sidewalks to nowhere.
Well, concrete is not going to ever be any cheaper than it is
No.
today.
Oh.
And, we spend money on parks and Swamp Rabbit Trail and all this connectivity, and at some point, maybe we'll all be dead. It could all be
I'm
connected.
certain we will.
Yeah, so
Well, I'm just trying to connect the main road just down to the sidewalk. I know you can cut across the parking lot. I realize that, but if you want to not,
but then you're crossing private property.
if you're not trespassing,
Right.
absolutely. I just think running that down this,
But if we give a variance for this, what's the next one going to be?
Variances don't set precedent.
yeah, they don't. It's just each application is totally different. It's just different.
Well, it may not set a precedence, but
An expectation.
it's an expectation.
They don't set a precedent. It's black and white. They don't set a precedent.
Well, now I have to admit
I disagree with that because
walls on
somebody's
HVAC screenings sort of went down the road with that, but, all righty.
So, Mr. Chairman,
Yeah.
so your compromise is to require it to go further down into the dead end there?
No, just where that curve is, if you look at that drawing. All right, Mr. Parham made a motion to,
I actually asked
no.
him.
Think
I
he
said, why
wants-
don't you make that motion
You
then?
make the motion.
no,
It's your
I can
idea.
make a motion. I was just gonna say you like the idea.
I could go along with it either way. I think it's, yeah.
From the end of the existing sidewalk down to the new sidewalk in front of that building. I don't know what else to do. Staff? I think it's a reasonable, middle ground. All that other goes away on down the street. Or make a motion to give it all.
All right, I'll make a motion that we extend it down to the front of the building, whatever that distance, either way. I think it's, yeah.
From the end of the existing sidewalk down to the new sidewalk in front of that building. I don't know what else to do. Staff? I think it's a reasonable middle ground. All that other goes away on down the street. Or make a motion to give it all.
All right, I'll make a motion that we extend it down to the front of the building, whatever that distance is, so that it's even with the building.
Avenue.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'll second. Unfortunately, we can't see the drawing clear enough to give you a dimension or a location.
Well,
Is it Florence or Florence?
this drawing's real good.
I mean, it's hard to read.
I'm looking at it electronic.
Well, just down to the sidewalk to the proposed building.
Motion's there in a second.
Any further we have a motion to approve just an extension of down to the sidewalk, the new sidewalk in front of the proposed building, and eliminate all the rest of it. And we have a second. Any further discussion?
I think we need to describe this more specifically.
Agree.
Because this sounds like the sort of thing that
Yeah.
could legally be tied in knots.
Wow, okay. I guess the engineering degree and the contractor's license is totally worthless.
Well, according to the drawing, they're requesting to remove the proposed sidewalk in the cloud, which is everything on this side
Right.
of the property. All of it.
I just
You're
want-
proposing,
Well, they need, you're right, that
We're
little, the cloud, they need to
Yeah.
extend it out and then connect with the sidewalk down that road. And I mean, I can guess the dimensions.
What we're trying to do is
Yeah.
bring it down to the parking lot.
so
where it
from
meets.
the beginning of the building, from where the parking lot and the building meet, they're
Yeah,
to extend it to the curb where the sidewalk already exists on Rutherford Road.
my way was better.
So if the photograph we're looking at is the west facing
What's that road?
photograph.
Florence.
Florence Avenue, we would go to the most western point of that piece of property and come back east and tie in with the existing sidewalk at the stop sign at the corner of Florence and Rutherford.
Right.
Is that legal
I
enough?
didn't understand that.
Well, if we're
trying to
looking
measure
west
it.
in this top photo, if we go to the most western point of this piece of property and come back east to tie in to the sidewalk that already exists,
We're just underneath the stop sign.
underneath the stop sign, correct. But it would be the most western point of that piece of property, not the eastern end of that piece of property. We would want to
Oh,
go past it so that the sidewalk is in front of the
Yeah,
piece
but it's the proposed building, extend the sidewalk in front of the proposed building over to and connecting into the sidewalk that comes down through here.
Yes. Yeah, that's what I said, yes.
I can pull it up.
Yeah, but you said
Or
the
we-
furthest.
up on GIS.
The furthest point, like if the building is here, and this is the east end of the building, and this is the west end of the building, the sidewalk needs to come all the way down in front of the building at the most western point, and then come back east to tie in with the existing sidewalk, so that the sidewalk covers the entire front of that building. That's what I was
It already
asking.
does on
It
the
already
drawing.
does.
It
We're
already
talking about
does.
It needs to go down the.
It just needs to
Cold
extend a
side.
few, 10, 15 more feet, and then hook up with this
25.02.
other one.
Okay,
It's better to see it on this thing.
all right, well,
Can I try to quantify what he said in
Sure.
more
Please.
easily understood?
Please do.
All right. They have asked, using the drawing that we have in front of us, that the area surrounded by the red cloud is what they want the variance for. There is a 25.02-foot section that is parallel to the front of the proposed building, which intersects the sidewalk along Florence Road. The
proposed-
motion, as I understand it, correct me if I'm wrong, would be to permit a variance from that intersection of sidewalks to the west. They don't have to build that, but they do have to build from that intersection of sidewalks
Okay.
back to the corner.
That's a good way of doing it. Okay.
Correct.
All right. Staff, did you get that? As Julie goes.
So whoever made the motion, are they cool with that?
Yes.
And who seconded it?
Ms. Phillips.
Thank you.
They have to install per the drawing except the part that extends down Florence past the proposed sidewalk and the proposed building. So we're giving them over half of it. So. All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Next one.
This is VA 2026-008, 909 State Park Road, LDR 10.3.5, screening and buffering variance. The applicant is seeking a variance from the requirements of LDR Section 10.3.5 to remove the required 15-foot buffer along the western property line where non-residential use is adjacent to a residentially zoned or used property, as well as a variance to remove the existing screening along the western property line and the driveway. This request is for the ability to keep the existing driveway and use it for parking purposes. So here is the site. SAC comments that were provided at the meeting. Please provide a site plan of the location of the building and the setback. I feel like I'm missing some things. Okay, here we go. Okay, here is the site and areas to the south of the site. And here is west and east of the site. Staff recommends approval with conditions of the variance as requested. Conditions are as follows. 1, provide a site plan and statement of the proposed use prior to issuance of any permits. Mr. Chairman.
Wouldn't it need to come back to us for the site plan?
You can have it come back to you if you'd like.
Yes.
Well, I mean, this little bitty drawing is sort of hard. Along the western property, it sort of looks like 15 foot is already there.
We don't have a drawing. We don't have a drawing. Can you go back to the site, please?
Yeah, right there.
No, the site where you showed the east, west, north, and south. Okay, right there, is that the vegetation in the top picture that we're wanting to get rid of?
Yes.
But they're already parking there, it looks like.
So this is why I requested additional information on the use as well.
No one signed up.
The application didn't include additional information as to what they plan to use the site for, but they say they want to use the parking. My understanding is they seem to be needing to expand parking. This site is zoned commercially, so it seems to me that there's a change of use planned, and the parking would be expanded.
Yeah, but if
in
they
that
tore
case.
down all those trees, now all those people in the townhomes next door
Right.
get a bad view.
I rode through there and it's. yeah.
Those Leland cypresses, they grow so fast. I mean, if they just cut them back on that side, would that not give them their 15 feet?
They'd be ugly. They'd have to slide.
Well,
They'd have to do like the power
but if
companies
if
do.
it's already on their side of the property line, they can cut up to the property line.
Park in the front yard. Come back with a new drawing.
I make a motion, we deny.
All righty.
I'll second.
Ms. Phillips made a motion to deny. Ms. Manning has a second. All in favor to deny, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. All right. We try too hard. Planning report.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Chair. So, a couple items this evening. Long-range planning. This is all in your the report is included in your packet, but as a brief summary, that we have several community resources in development. A little bit of background on that. Due to COVID and other factors, some communities lack participation needed for traditional long-range planning support. Our long-range planning staff is currently in the process of developing some guides that would help these communities understand what resources are out there, how to begin the planning process, how to work with us. It should be pretty exciting stuff that's coming down the pipeline. They're not quite ready for publication yet, but once they're fully developed, we'll bring them to you if you want to see them, and you can check them out. But we're pretty excited about this new program that's in development. There's also a overlay district for the Mountain Creek area that's currently going through the process. That's east of Paris Mountain. It's between Rutherford Road and Reed School Road, mainly to address flooding and stormwater challenges near development, in connection with Paris Mountain there. We're working on scheduling a public meeting for this to help it move forward. And once the public has had their opportunity to weigh in on the latest revision, we'll be bringing that forward to you as well as part of the approval process and your recommendation to County Council on this overlay district. And then just a bit of happy news for historic preservation. Judson Mill just received its historic tax credits. This is a project that's been 10 years coming, but they finally rewarded their tax credits. It will help the mill preserve the mill site as well as allow it for some adaptive reuse for allowing retail and residential and other uses there. So that's pretty exciting. Transportation, we're moving forward with our 5-year update to the long-range transportation plan. The consultant HDR Incorporated has been retained to help us through that process. We held our kickoff meeting last week, which helped us set the vision and kind of guidance for where we want to go in this process, laying out what we're going to do to involve the public in these changes, this update. But the plan is called Horizon 2050, and we're pretty excited. We'll move forward with that, and we'll keep you updated as we proceed there. Also, as you recall, there's a couple of resolutions that County Council passed a couple of years ago asking for 2 reports from staff. One dealing with the number of subdivisions in the past year that have been approved on septic versus sewer, as well as some recommendations on the future land use map, a separate report. We have drafts of those prepared. I emailed them to you this afternoon. Take a look at those. They're just drafts at this point. We're working on finalizing them in preparation for the March meeting. We'll bring it back to you for comment, but if you have feedback or want to be involved in finishing up those drafts, please provide your thoughts on those drafts. Reminder that we have an executive session or a special called Planning Commission meeting on March 11th where we'll hold an executive session. That's at 4 p.m. That will be in council chambers, not in this room. So make a note of that. And if you have any questions about that, make sure you get them to me by the end of the meeting. And then one last item for the update. We have a couple new staff in subdivision. Lillian Jones has joined us as an associate planner, and George McFalls as an administrative specialist. And they've been here for about a month. They're taking to learning the process and helping the public very well. We're very pleased to have them on board.
My turn?
Yo. What?
I thought I saw something about 5-year update, but maybe it's later.
No, we're going to bring it back later. What did you want to? Yeah. Well, I mean, you're the charge of that thing.
Yeah, I was the one who brought it up. In the last several months, the comprehensive plan has been discussed among this body without any real conclusion, just hanging out there. State Code 629-510D indicates we are responsible for preparing a comprehensive plan, and there's other language in that article that we have to provide updates and revisions as necessary. It appears we just can't hold it. We've got to produce something. It's our responsibility. Review of the comprehensive plan and proposed update indicates some revisions need to be considered, and I'll give you some examples. There's 25 objectives listed in both documents that are exactly the same. However, the solutions or strategies are different, and it's not clear if progress has been made over the last 5 years. In addition, there appear to be too many objectives for us and the county's resources to effectively manage. In the 5-year update, the UDO is mentioned over 100 times as a strategy to achieve the objectives. The UDO no longer exists, so how are you going to meet the objectives without a UDO? A plan is a forward-looking document. Strategies for objectives must be actionable and measurable so that progress can be observed. Since the objectives between the comp plan and the update are the same, but the strategies are different, it's difficult to determine if there's any progress being made. 25 objectives is a lot, and it appears that several are out of the county's control. To be effective, consideration should be given to prioritizing them with those objectives that the county can control to those with the county has little or no control. An effective plan is a forward-looking document that outlines its actions and measurements of success to ensure objectives are met and effectively followed. I'd like to make a motion. Following motion is a way forward to complete the update by establishing a small committee of planning commissioners and staff to make revisions to the draft as follows. The committee shall report back to the Planning Commission at the March meeting, listing the scope of work to be done and a schedule for completion of the following among other items. Review the objectives and prioritize them according to their importance and their control. Eliminate those objectives that the county has little or no control over. Review the strategies of each objective and revise them so they're actionable and measurable, and assign accountability to action the objectives assigned. Provide a high-level framework of the proposed revisions for the PC to review and comment for our next March meeting. Establish a reporting protocol to report the company's objective progress to the public, Planning Commission, and Council that can be either quarterly or semi-annually. The committee can make that decision. Target for all revisions to be ready for public comment, followed by further revisions by the May Commission meeting. Commission review and approval follow. Establish a plan to begin the future update process for the next comprehensive plan. Mr. Chairman.
Did everybody?
I can go over it again.
No. Well, I've heard you say it. Staff had suggested that we don't bring back the 5-year comp plan, that what he wants to do is just maybe call it update 2026. I mean, we want to leave the old one alone. We want to look forward. And Mr. Moore has come up with a lot of good suggestions for the comp plan, and especially getting rid of the UDO references, which I thought there was just a few. So I would highly recommend Mr. Moore as the ad hoc chairman of this committee, and he can pick whoever he wants.
Mr. Chair, if I may.
Yes.
Just a couple thoughts to consider. So based off the scope of what Mr. Moore's presented, I think a lot of this is very, very doable. Just a couple of things to keep in mind, though. Remember that the 5-year update is reflection on where we have been. The UDO is, if you search for UDO in the document, you do get 107 hits, but that's for the actual term itself. It's discussed in 32 of the different strategies. Keep in mind that it's mentioned so many times because it is what staff focused on for 4 years to develop. We agree that it is no longer ordinance, it's not governing, it's not what we're doing, but it is the history of where staff was, where the county was for 5 years. And so while it may not look like we've accomplished much, that's not a true statement, because we spent that time developing the UDO, working with the consultant, getting it ready. It is a record of where we've been. If commission wants to move forward with updating, taking another look, creating more strategies that are more forward-facing, more action-oriented, more looking to the future, staff stands ready to support you on that. I think the committee is a great idea, but it really should be a new update, a new review, not reopening what's been closed. That's done. There's no action needed for it because there were no recommended changes to the comp plan.
Did I not just say that? I'm sorry, I'm old.
I'm trying to support you here, Mr. Chair. In any case, that is staff's recommendation. If we want to move forward with looking at this, absolutely, let's do it. Let's do a new review.
And that's why I said call it update 26 or something.
I second the motion that's on the floor.
All righty. Any other?
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Hammond. Wait, I got to hear this.
Just a reminder, the comp plan is an aspirational document. It's not an ordinance. It carries no teeth. It has no enforceability. I think it's fine to review it. I hear all these actionable items, setting goals, achievable goals, measuring the goals. I don't believe that's what the comp plan is intended to do.
If you go, Mr. Blunt has come to me, and if you read the Enabling Act, it's a lot more than you think. It surprised me.
It still is aspirational.
No.
It still has no. It is not an ordinance. It is not an ordinance.
You can say no all you want, and they've proven me wrong. 'Cause
You showed me where council
Our
voted it into
ordinance,
law.
our
No, I'm just
ordinances
saying,
and regulations are supposed to be revised and updated
It's not an
according
ordinance
to
and it's
our
not a regulation.
comprehensive plan. That is why the comprehensive plan is required. They're supposed to work hand in hand together. And we use that comprehensive plan as a aspirational guide and don't do well. And I don't think we're blaming staff at all for the past,
No.
4 or 5 years UDO, none of that. It's just the way it played out, and now we've got to figure out where to go from there. We can't just say, hey, throw it out the door. We need to be more proactive, and I think our planning commission, most of us are willing to do that. But yes, it is a requirement. It's very
I didn't say it
detailed in
wasn't
the
a requirement.
Planning
I just
Act.
said it's not an ordinance. It's
And the
not law.
ordinances should be coming out of those, and we're not
Yes.
doing that.
They do. It's, like I said,
Is there a way to eliminate the UDO in the future? I know you say that's in the past, but if somebody types that in, pulls it up on the county's website, it's gonna pop up.
You type it in on Google and you're gonna find it too.
That's right.
Right.
So,
Well, it is part of the history. I mean, it was approved for 3 weeks. It was the ordinance of the county for 3 weeks. To answer your question, though, directly, Mr. Holland, if we did a new revision that was separate from the one that we've already brought, it wouldn't contemplate the UDO, because that's not what we're doing
Right.
anymore. We're moving forward, away from it.
Kind of de facto, it happens.
Right.
I'm okay with Mr. Moore trying to make these changes. If you don't like them, you can vote against them. If you like them, otherwise. I mean,
Just for clarity, is the motion on the floor to amend the 5-year plan that's already been presented, or to create a new one?
well, no,
The motion is create a committee, is it not?
it's just to create a committee to update one, but not revise.
Okay,
Are you okay with that?
perfect.
Are you
Sounds
okay
good.
with that? Who made the second? Oh, Corey.
I did.
Speak up. All righty.
and if we do this, then just because we update, we still have to have council approval.
No.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
yes, we do.
I mean, it will have,
Won't it have to go to council for them to approve it?
Talking to the attorney's office about that today, if there are proposed amendments to the comp plan itself, that would require a recommendation to council and council's vote to amend the comprehensive plan itself. If it ultimately ends up being just another review, another report saying this is where we're going, and none of the criteria established in the comp plan are changed or recommended for changing, then it can be like the last update we did, where it's just, we bring it to you as a body, you look at it, this is it, and we move forward until we are ready to do the actual 10-year update here in a couple of years.
I don't believe we're looking for a report. I believe what your motion was to set up the committee, and then the committee is going to look at making the changes to make them more actionable, measurable, et cetera, paraphrasing slightly. And that would not be a report at the end of that.
If there's a report, it's a report on the progress of achieving
Right.
the objectives. And I think if you're going to have objectives for the entire county, council is going to have to approve what we're doing.
So it would be to amend.
It would be to amend so the council agrees to the objectives, because I wouldn't want to go down the path with a bunch of objectives the council doesn't agree to.
And Mr. Parv, I would agree that if there are amendments to the comp plan, it would need to go to council.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And I think that's what we're going to determine in a committee.
Probably, yeah.
And that process would be the same as the rezoning process or a text
Sure.
amendment, just to like the zoning ordinance or anything like that. That's that process it would go through.
We'd send it to P&D from here.
Yeah, I would envision it goes through the zoning process, including public hearings. So the
Yeah,
public
it'll
gets a chance
actually,
to give comments.
it would show up on a public hearing night just with the other rezoning dockets.
I was
Yeah.
thinking a little bit more broader than that, so the public gets some input into what these these are, and not a 3-minute opportunity to talk.
And
Well,
that's
no, it would be, I mean, it's not 3, it'd be 10, but,
Well,
I mean,
I'm not talking about minutes, I'm talking about much longer.
Right, and that's actually one thing I was relieved to hear, is that it's talking about having an extended window, because we probably would want to get public input. And if we're amending the comp plan, we will need to get public input, not just at the council level.
Absolutely.
That's the reason I said give the group a month to decide what they're gonna do, because
Yeah.
it's kinda arbitrary when I said May. We may have to bring this out further than
Yeah,
that.
I was thinking June or July at the very earliest.
And what I was saying
That's
is that,
very possible.
But we can decide that in the committee.
there
Call
will,
a
I mean,
question.
the public hearing,
Hold on.
it will be at that public hearing, but that's just, I mean, if there's additional public hearings, that's fine, but the process would follow the same, and it would still go to that.
You're not talking about public hearings, you're talking about just having some
Community
public
meetings, yes.
Community meetings.
Right.
Workshops.
Yes.
Right.
Is everybody okay with this except Frank? I mean, I don't really think we need a vote. I mean, it's, no.
It's a motion.
All right, everybody who agrees with what he's gonna do, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No. Yeah, I know. The, I got one other item. Well, were you gonna talk about that?
Just briefly, so in the packet, I submitted a memo that talked about encouraging the use of committees. There's some talk about having some discussions online, or not online, through the email that could result in potential FOIA questions. Serving in committees, setting up committees, I know there are several that have already been created, but using them could help alleviate some of those concerns. I know the long-range planning that we just voted on, that's a good example. Some of these other ordinance amendments that are out there, if there's a committee. I know that in the past, there's been a bylaws committee.
It's still active, it's just
Yeah.
pending on hold.
My point is, we have that option. It could help avoid those in the future. I just encourage you to consider using those, and if you have other questions about that, you can direct it to Chairman Bickle.
Yeah, we're good with that, except I still believe any commissioner can send out an email to all the commissioners, talk about the weather, but unless it's an actionable item, I don't think it's for you. It's just my opinion. I'm no lawyer, but I mean, asking for a vote, you know, or saying, I wish y'all would do this.
Well, so,
You know.
Making someone aware that it might be 80 degrees tomorrow is not
It's-
requesting action.
Right.
has it been suggested that,
Read the letter.
yes, but from a legal standpoint, do we have not just an opinion, but do we have a decision on that?
Wait 2 weeks. All right, one other item. Which brings up, I've got questions from everybody. They're on a final list. I'm going to submit them tomorrow. If you have any other questions for the attorney for the executive session in a couple weeks, please get them to me so then I can submit them to legal and to staff. So that's all I got to say. Any other new business? Any old? We're adjourned.